Hello friends, today we are going to learn live table insert, update, delete records in Mysql database using PHP. In this video, we are using HTML content editable property to handle inline editing. We set this property as true, which will allow user to edit content on clicking the content. Let's take a look at how to implement live table add, edit, delete with Jquery and real-time database insert, update, delete using Ajax. First, I make one table named TBL sample with 3 columns named id, first name, and last name. After making table, I am going to create one PHP page named index.php. In this page I make simple HTML skeleton. I use Bootstrap CSS framework and Jquery. Now I define one div with id live data for display table data from database using Ajax. Now I create one Jquery function with name fetch data for fetching data from database using Ajax. In this Ajax function, there is first parameter is URL and URL is select.php. Second parameter is method, I use post method, and last is success, which display output of Ajax request, which is display in live data div. Now I create new PHP page with name select.php. First I make database connection. After database connection, I define one output variable and create SQL query for fetching data from table. Now I define result variable and store SQL query result. Before I check number of row, first I define table field. After define table field, I check number of row. If row more than 0, then it display data from database, otherwise it display no data found. If table has more than 0 row, I use fetch data using while loop with Mysql fetch array function. There are 4 fields in table. First field is id. Second field is first name. In this I define class with name first name for Jquery selector. In this field I also define data attributed 1 for storing id of row for this field. For live table edit I use HTML5 content editable attribute. The content editable attribute specifies third field is last name. In this I define class with name last name for Jquery selector. In this field I also define data attributed 2 for storing id of row for this field. For live table edit I use HTML5 content editable attribute. Now I define button for delete data with name delete btn and data attribute with id3 for storing id of this row. I also define class with name btn delete for Jquery selector. Now I also define one row for insert new data. There is also for column. First is blank. Second is for enter first name with id first name with content editable attribute. Third is for enter last name with id last name with content editable attribute, and last one is for insert button for insert new data with name btn add and id btn add. Now I check output. After fetching data I move to insert data using Jquery Ajax. For insert data I have right-click event on btn add button. This is dynamic HTML field, so simple Jquery click event will not working, so I have to write Jquery code with document selector. After this I have to store first name and last name field into variable for checking it has some value or not. If it have no value it fire alert message, otherwise it will insert data using Jquery Ajax. For insert data using Ajax there is first parameter as URL with name insert.php. Second parameter is method. I will use post method. Third is data. There is 2 data. First is first name and second is last name. Fourth is datatype. I use text datatype. Last is success for display output. In this output, first is fire alert message and second is for fetch data function, which I have made earlier for fetch data from database and display in live data. Now I create new PHP page insert.php for insert data. First I have make database connection. Then after I write insert query for insert data. After making insert query, I use Mysql query for execute this query and display data inserted message, and this message display at front end to user. Now I check output. Oh, data inserted properly. Now I move to live update table data. For live update data I have to make new Jquery function with their parameter. First parameter is unique of row. Second is text, it means new name for first name or last name. And column name means table column name, which is first name or last name. In this function I also use Ajax. There is also URL, method, form data, data type, and output success function. Now I create new PHP page with name edit.php. First I make database connection. After database connection I write SQL query for update data. In update query column name is dynamic. That means when user change first name field and column name come with first name, and when user change last name on page then last name come as column name. And text means which is enter, has first name or last name by user. Now I write Jquery code for table column on blur event. In table column I have defined class name first name for first name and last name class for last name column. Here class name use as a selector. Here HTML is dynamic, so I use document object model with on event. With on event there are three parameters. First parameter is Jquery event, second parameter is selector, and third is function. First I write Jquery code for first name column. In I wanted to get it, I have get it from attribute data id1. And I have to use edit data function which I have made earlier. And same things done with last name column. Now I check output. Oh, data updated successfully. Now I move to delete data. For delete data I have two Ajax. First I wanted, here it can be get from data id3 attribute. After getting it, I start writing Ajax code. In this first parameter is URL delete.php. Second parameter is method, I use post method. Third is data, which is form data. Fourth is data type, I use text data type. Last is success, which produce output. In output, first it fire alert message, and second it refresh table data by using fetch data function which I have made earlier. Now I make new PHP page with name delete.php. First I make database connection. After making database connection, I write SQL query for delete data from database. After making delete SQL query, execute this query using Mysql query function. If query execute properly, it delete data from database and produce data deleted message which display on front end to user with page refresh. Now I check output. it working properly. So, this way we can done live table insert update delete using Ajax Jquery in PHP Mysql. Thank you for watching this video. You can also subscribe my YouTube channel, or you can also like my Facebook page, or you can also follow me on Twitter.